Good morning, guys. It's Dave with Answer 8, and today I want to show you how to use Maps Pro. Maps Pro is great when you use Rate Matrix. It lets you automate your estimating so that you can do it right in the office without going to the field. There are some issues occasionally where you'll have some trees obstruct the view of the satellite image, making it difficult to do a measurement. The first one I'm going to show you is easy. No trees are obstructing it, and hopefully we don't run into any issues. On the second one, I'm going to show you a property with a ton of trees and a workaround I used to use. So let's go ahead and dive in. You're going to basically start from the client page and click on More, and then click on Property Measurements. After you do that, you want to click the square in the upper right corner of the map to take it to a full screen view. Normally it actually starts out in this map mode. You just want to switch it over to satellite and then zoom in. So once you zoom in, basically what I do is start on the outer perimeter, and then I come back and subtract the house. And that just makes it easier. That way you can do it all in one motion. There is a way you can do a separate measurement where it will add additional measurements or subtract them. So like say you have a huge commercial property and there's a parking lot in the middle, and you do the perimeter. Well, you need to take the parking lot, or you may need to take the parking lot out of your measurement. And it lets you do that, and I'm going to show you how to do all that. So let's go get started. So I'm up here in the upper left corner. Basically all I do is click here, and then once you click, just drag the little line all the way down, and then come on across and back up towards the front. Now as you see, you're going to run into curves sometime, like this driveway here. So what I do is I stop it right at the edge, and then I start connecting the dots, or making the dots smaller, that way they curve. And that might not have been a good explanation, so I'm going to show you again on this one. So basically I take the line to where the curve starts, and then basically I do short additional lines along the edges, and basically that'll help turn a line into a little zigzag curve. So let's do one more here, and then basically what we're going to do is continue the outline of the house. And actually there's a little flower bed here. So what I'm going to do is take this line up to the flower bed and then bring it out. And then once we get down here to the end of the driveway again, we have another curve, so I'll just do some small ones. And then what you do is, once you're done, you connect this last dot to the first dot, and once you do that, it's going to highlight a different color, and then you'll get your measurement. So there we go. So it changed colors there, and it gave us a measurement of 9,664 square feet. So like I was saying before, sometimes you need to actually include additional measurements, whether you want to add them to the square footage or subtract them. In this case, we'll go ahead and subtract them. So the first thing you do is just enter the description. It really doesn't matter what it is, just so you know. We'll call that the turf, and then we're going to click add. Basically what I'm going to do is subtract this flower bed in the lower left corner from this measurement, and right now we're at 9,664 square feet. So just click anywhere to start. Drag around it. So you're going to notice that that's connected, that this number has went up, and the reason it did is because this blue box is a plus. we're going to click it one time and it's going to become a minus, and we go down to 9,500 square feet, and then we'll just name that flower bed. Now normally you can just click on select custom field. However, at least in Safari, I don't know about Chrome or other browsers, it does not work if you're in full screen mode. So what we're going to do is come over to the top right corner and exit full screen mode, which throws us off a little, but there we go. So what we're going to do is go back to the custom field and select turf square foot, and then before we save it, I just want to show you sometimes measurements can be off a little bit. It's going to vary. For example, a prior one, we're about 500 square feet off from a prior measurement I did here. And some things that will throw it off is like before I measured around this hedge. So that probably was about 10 to 20 square feet I lost there, but somewhere else I lost 30 square feet. I'm not sure exactly where, but you're never going to get two of the same measurements. So just be aware of that when you set up your rate matrix. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and save this as the 9,501. And then one other thing that you can do is, and again, you can't do this in full screen mode on Safari, but if you click here next to the plus minus button, you can actually change the color of your highlights. So like I just made that flower bed red, and let's turn grass blue, and that way you can just tell the differences. Now what I'm going to do is just show a quick estimate based off this number that we just imported into turf square foot using the rate matrix. So basically what you're going to do is click add estimate, and then on this one we're going to go to landscape maintenance and click apply. So it automatically pulls in our field 9,501 square foot and gives it a rate of 40 based off of what I set up in the rate matrix, and then the budgeted hours of 0.90. You can also have the rate matrix calculate a cost. I've personally never used that with lawn maintenance. I think that would work more so if you're doing a measurement for sod. So that's pretty much an easy measurement. So the next one I want to show you is a little more difficult. There's basically going to be a ton of trees in this one. So this is let's see here. So like before, I'm going to click this upper right box, expand the screen, and zoom in. Actually, let's switch to satellite. So let's go ahead. I like when it gives the option. It doesn't always. And in this, I preferred looking at the house as if I was looking at it from the street. Obviously, this house, it's not going to make a difference because you really can't see anything. You can see a fence that goes right here and a driveway right here, but this cul-de-sac, you can't tell what's going on. So in this case, what I do is I'll just switch over to the map view and basically just measure the property outlines here and then subtract the house. The measurement in theory should come out higher because you're not removing any sidewalks or driveways. So just keep that in mind, and this is something that you'll obviously want to play with a little bit before you decide you want to do it. On these types, you may want to go out and do a physical estimate, but for the most part, I find that this works okay too. So what I'm going to do is just start like the last time. Draw these little property lines. So we have the outline. So what I'll do is type in turf there, and then let's add in the house, which is right here. And then exit full screen. And what we want to do is subtract the house, and that's going to give us 17,000 square feet. So let's go ahead and put that in turf square foot, save it. It'll add it down here into turf square foot, and it's the same thing if you do an estimate. Mind you, I just made up some numbers for the rate matrix, so hopefully it's somewhat accurate. We'll see in a second. I know the other one was, but this one's not horrible. It's a little high for the area, but as you see, it calculated it as 17,640 square feet. Gave it a rate of $55 and budgeted hours of 2.5 hours, which is really high because that house only took about 45 minutes for 2 guys, so an hour and a half really. But just make sure your rate matrix is up, and then definitely double check everything for the first month, maybe 2 months. Then once you're comfortable, it's a great system to use. Literally before I sold my landscape company at the beginning of March this year, for the last year and a half, I always did my estimates online. Never went out. Basically what I did with hedge trimming, if I could get a good idea from Google Maps, Street View, and satellite images, I'd base it off that. Otherwise, basically I would just tell them that we'd give them an estimate after we come out the first service. And I always required photos from the guys when they started and finished jobs, and I would just make sure they included the photos of hedges and then send an estimate from that way. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment or get in touch with me anytime. Hope you have a wonderful day.